Elon Musk's Tesla 2026 electric plane just changed air travel forever. Let me take you into a moment, just a few years from now, where you walk into an airport and the first thing you notice is silence. No roaring engines, no oily burn smell, just a low electric hum floating somewhere in the distance like the whisper of a futuristic city. And right in the center of that quiet, a strange-looking aircraft lifts straight off the ground, smooth, vertical, effortless. And someone beside you says, "Yeah, that's the Tesla." People laugh at the idea today, but that quiet sky, that aircraft that looks like it was stolen from 2040, it isn't science fiction anymore. And the story behind how we get there is wilder than the plane itself. 1. The problem we've been ignoring. We like to think aviation is the cutting-edge frontier of technology. It isn't, not even close. Commercial jets today are basically refined versions of technology born in the 1960s. Sure, they're safer and more fuel-efficient now, but compared to what's possible, we're still lighting dinosaurs on fire and blasting that explosion out the back of a metal tube at 2,000 degrees. Aviation has 3 giant, immovable walls. Fuel costs keep rising. Carbon output is massive. Maintenance is painfully expensive. And because airplanes stay in service for decades, real disruption is glacial. That's why, believe it or not, your smartphone has changed more in the last 10 years than commercial air travel has. The world needed a madman or a genius, or both. 2. Enter Tesla, not the car company, the disruption machine. People always make the same mistake. They think Tesla is a car company. Tesla is an energy company disguised as a car company. Electric propulsion, battery density, energy storage, autonomy, all of that translates disturbingly well into aviation. So when rumors started swirling in late 2025 about a Skunk Works flight project operating somewhere in Nevada, something involving Tesla engineers, SpaceX aerodynamicists, and a few very expensive NDAs, people thought it was a joke. Except, it wasn't. Because while everyone else was debating whether electric planes were practical, Tesla was busy asking, what would the sky look like if we deleted the rules? 3. The big idea. A plane built around electricity, not adapted for it. Most attempts at electric aircraft start with the wrong question. How do we take a regular plane and make it electric? Tesla flipped that upside down. How do we build a plane that only electric propulsion makes possible? Instead of the wings defining the motors defined the wings. Instead of batteries being added in, the airframe was shaped around them. And instead of runway takeoff, they looked at vertical liftoff like a cheat code. The result? A design that didn't resemble a traditional aircraft at all. Distributed electric thrusters embedded along the wings, a fuselage shaped like a blended teardrop, an underside lined with next-gen battery modules cooled by active airflow, and a flight control AI that thinks more like a drone swarm than a pilot. People inside the project described it as the first airplane that acts like an organism. 4. But then, the brick wall. Of course, there was the one problem every armchair critic loves to throw out. Battery energy density makes electric planes impossible. And they were right, to a point. There wasn't enough energy in lithium-ion batteries to get a mid-size aircraft off the ground with a useful range. But Tesla wasn't banking on lithium-ion. They were building something else entirely. 5. The twist. The battery that changes everything. In early 2026, Tesla quietly filed a patent with a phrase nobody had seen before: dynamic phase aerothermal battery. It was the missing puzzle piece. A battery that uses heat, the enemy of traditional cells, as a functional advantage. A battery that becomes more efficient mid-flight instead of less. A battery that stores energy across multiple physical states, increasing density far beyond previous ceilings. Think of it like this. Old batteries are like suitcases. You can only cram so much in. This new battery behaves like a living system, expanding capacity by shifting how it stores energy at different temperatures and pressures. Suddenly, an electric aircraft didn't just work, it became competitive. Then something even crazier happened. 6. The second twist, the jet stream hack. During early simulations, engineers discovered something strange. At high altitude with the new battery and distributed thrusters, the aircraft could use natural wind currents in ways traditional planes couldn't. Because the electric motors could adjust torque independently, the plane could ride the jet stream like a surfer catching waves, gaining 20 to 30% range almost for free. No jet engine could ever respond that quickly. But electric thrusters? Instant. Tesla had accidentally built the first jetstream-adaptive aircraft. This was the turning point. The moment the skeptics stopped laughing. 7. Imagining the first Tesla flight. The future snapshot. Picture this. You board the aircraft. There's no fuel smell, no vibration, no deep mechanical groan. Takeoff begins silently, almost suspiciously gently, and then, without you even noticing, the ground just melts away beneath the windows. The cabin is whisper quiet. You can actually talk at normal volume without fighting engine noise. The flight path feels more like gliding on magnetic rails than turbulence. Then you look out and see the wings. Flexing. Not in a terrifying way, more like a bird adjusting its feathers. Each micro thruster makes tiny corrections, invisible but constant, giving the plane a level of stability that feels almost unnatural. At cruising altitude, the plane shifts into its jet stream sync mode. You don't feel it, but the sky does. Flight time drops, energy use plummets. The aircraft feels alive, and once you land, you realize something bizarre. You aren't exhausted. It's the first time flying feels like being carried, not hurled across the sky. 8. The consequence nobody saw coming. Here's the part no one's prepared for. If this aircraft hits production, airports will change more in 10 years than in the previous 60. Electric planes mean micro airports inside cities. Silent nighttime operations, drastically cheaper maintenance, no fuel supply chains. Routes that never made economic sense are suddenly becoming profitable. Air travel becomes decentralized. Regional hops become cheap. Small towns reconnect. The sky becomes democratic again. And geopolitically, the first nation to widely adopt electric flight gets an absurd advantage: energy independence and mobility dominance. Governments know this. Airlines know this. That's why meetings are already happening behind closed doors. This isn't a new aircraft. This is a new era. 9. The final question. Are we ready for quiet skies? Every major shift in transportation rewires society. Cars reshaped cities. Rail reshaped nations. Aviation reshaped the world. Electric flight will do all three at once. Not because it's clean, not because it's modern, but because it breaks the cost barriers holding humanity in place. We are about to live through the moment where silence becomes the sound of progress. And one more twist, that 2026 timeline everyone laughed at? It doesn't look so crazy anymore. So the only real question left is, when the first quiet aircraft rises into the sky, will the world be ready to follow it?